Lindsay Buziak's father says private detectives and volunteers have zeroed in on 5 people they believe are suspects in the realtor's murder. Lindsay Buziak was found stabbed to death in a home in Saanich she was showing in February 2008. Despite a massive investigation and a $100,000 reward, Saanich police have yet to make an arrest. That reward has now been withdrawn. Jeff Buziak says in Calgary today the information on the suspects has been shared with Saanich investigators, and he now expects an arrest. A News reporter Stephen Andrew has the latest.
We have 5 people that we're targeting. We know who they all are, and we know why.
The father of Lindsay Buziak says he and a team of volunteers, including a private detective, have been working day and night to find his daughter's killers. He says that work has now paid off, but he's not naming suspects.
Well, right now what I'm willing to say is that we believe the people know Lindsay.
One person Buziak and his team are not targeting, Lindsay's former boyfriend.
Our list of people does not include Jason Zalo.
Jeff Buziak's revelation comes nearly 2.5 years after his daughter was found stabbed to death in a Saanich home. Investigators believe the realtor was lured to the home by her killers, posing as prospective homebuyers. But solving the murder has been tough for Saanich police. With leads drying up, Lindsay's family and the Greater Victoria Real Estate Board put up a $100,000 reward for information. 3 days ago, the family took the reward off the table. Police say the move was not unexpected.
It's apparent to our investigators that a monetary stimulus is not what the person or persons with information in this incident are looking for.
If Jeff Buziak's investigation has led to solid leads, the reward money might now be a moot point. Jeff Buziak says he's given some of that information to Saanich investigators and to the U.S. television program Dateline NBC. Saanich police say they don't know when that program is going to air, but they expect it will be sometime later this month.
And hoping that that brings this investigation to the public's attention, to a much wider audience, in the hopes that it may assist our investigating detectives.
But Jeff Buziak says investigators have the information they need. He expects police to follow up on his leads and make an arrest. And for the people Jeff Buziak believes murdered his daughter, he has this warning.
That you can run, but you can't hide. We're there. We're right on you. We know who you are, and it's just a matter of time. You're going to have to take responsibility for your actions. And that day is coming sooner than they think.
Lindsay's family, friends, and the team of investigators looking for her killers hope that day is soon. In Victoria, Stephen Andrew, A News.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host, and with me is a man who just bought 20 pounds of cheese, and now he don't need any toilet paper.
That's right, man. You got to do what you got to do.
That's it. Tough times call for tough measures, man.
Cheese in a shop vac, you good to go.
Oh, man. I didn't realize I pooped so much till I realized I don't have much toilet paper.
I'm telling you, just them face-touching things. If it comes up to that, I'm a dead man.
That's it. What's going on, Dave? Dude, do you have any shout-outs or anything going on?
We ain't got a whole lot of going on, but I would like to give a shout-out to our friend Bridget Dorsey up in Vail, North Carolina. She gave us a pretty good review, and I appreciate that, and give her a little shout-out on our show today.
All right.
How about you?
Just want to remind everyone to, you got time on your hands now. Places are shut down. People aren't working. Check out our podcast. And if you're having to listen to us, give us a 5-star rating. It does help our show. It does move us up to the top of the list and helps the cause.
Yeah, or a Facebook review, anything.
Yeah, anything.
Share it. I don't know.
Give us a shout out. We sure appreciate it.
That's right.
All right, Dale. We're going to get into the case this week, and we do true crime, and every case is totally different.
Yep.
There's nothing similar about each case. It's so unique. That's what fascinates me about it.
Right.
And the case we're doing this week is about a Canadian real estate agent named Lindsay Buziak. Yes, she was murdered on February the 2nd, 2008. And we're going to get into her case. All right, Lindsay was born on November the 2nd, 1983, to Jeff and Evelyn Buziak.
Right, in Victoria, British Columbia.
Yes. And she had one sister named Sarah. Now, Dale, in 2008, Lindsay was 24 years old, and she was an aspiring real estate agent. That's what she was wanting to do. She was making a promising career to do this, and they said she had the capacity to do it as far as being popular and caring. She just had
and good looking.
Yeah, she was quite cute.
Very good.
And had a very outward demeanor about her.
Yeah. And her dad was she was in real estate too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like family business.
Yeah, it was. Now, Lindsay was in real estate classes, and she met Ryan Zalo.
Yeah.
And they became good friends, and she had been introduced to Ryan's mother, who owned a RE/MAX real estate agent there in Victoria.
Yeah, she was a big time.
Yeah, she was the real estate agent there. And they had another son, Jason Zalo.
Right.
And she'd been introduced to Jason through Ryan. And they seemed to hit it off pretty quick.
Yeah, I think he started hanging around the office a good bit more when she started working there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, Lindsay was quite cute. She was a looker, no doubt about it. And we'll post pictures of her and everything that pertains to this episode on our social media account so everybody can check it out. Now, Lindsay was working for the RE/MAX agent there in Victoria. And in late January 2008, Lindsay received a call from a woman who told Lindsay that she and her husband were looking for a house. And they were actually looking for it pretty quick.
Yeah.
They had to relocate because of jobs, and they had to be in a house within just a couple of days, ready to move in.
Yeah, they wanted a nice house, like 3-bedroom, very specific what they wanted. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, extra living quarters for a nanny, and their budget was just about $1 million.
So it was a very upscale house they were looking for.
Right. Big commission house.
And according to Lindsay, the caller had a foreign accent.
Yeah.
And she really couldn't place it whether it was Spanish or if it was not, but she said it was a foreign accent.
Yeah, almost like it was a fake Mexican accent, I think is how she described it.
Yeah. And she, like Dale said, she even thought that she did it to conceal her identity in a way. Yeah. And she even told that to her father and even Jason that she felt
something was up, yeah.
Yeah, unnerved about it. The phone call that she received was on her personal cell phone.
Right, which was strange.
Yeah, it wasn't through the company phone or the company office. It was through her cell phone. But some of her listings even had her personal cell phone on it, so that could have been it. But she asked the woman how she got her number, and the woman told her it was through a previous client.
Right.
And Lindsay even tried calling that client to find out how she knew her, get some details about her, but she happened to be out of town during that time.
Which is weird to me, so what does that matter?
Exactly.
They still had cell phones.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just strange.
But
that's strange number 2.
Yeah, this was 2008, so yeah, I don't know. Unless she was just out of the country or out of somewhere where there was no cell phone signal. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing that I don't get about this. Lindsay told her boyfriend, Jason Zalo, and her father, Jeff, about the call and her concerns, and Lindsay found a suitable property.
Yeah, pretty quick, actually.
But this is something we're going to discuss a little bit later. If Lindsay found the property or this was a property that the client found that she wanted Lindsay to show, because the house that they were going to look at belonged to another agent, another company. You know, and how that, I don't know exactly how real estate works, but I know they can show other properties of other companies.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
matter. It's all shareable.
Yeah. So I don't know if Lindsay found the house or the client found the house.
As far as what I understood, that she found the house.
Lindsay found the house.
Yeah. Now I might be wrong, but that's what I understood from my research.
But this is something we're going to delve into a little bit later while I'm asking this question.
Okay.
All right. Now, on Saturday, February the 2nd, 2008, Lindsay and Jason ate lunch at a restaurant called Sauce.
Yeah.
And they paid the bill for their meal. It was like a late lunch around 4:24 p.m.
Yep.
And that was confirmed too, I guess, from the receipt and all the transaction. But Lindsay also had a friend that was working there at that restaurant. She was a server there, and she happened to recognize Lindsay and confirmed that they were there. They left separately from the Sauce,
Right.
in their own vehicles.
Yeah, she was supposed to meet these people at this house at 5:30.
At 5:30.
Yeah, on 1702 D'Souza Place in Sandwich, Victoria.
Yes. Now,
Can't read my own writing.
yeah, that was the time she was supposed to meet him.
Yeah, 5:30.
Yeah, and Jason traveled to an auto shop to pick up a colleague, by the name of Cohen Oatman.
Yeah.
Before we started this episode, I was even asking you, what was his name again? And it was confirmed, too, that Jason was at the auto body shop because it was captured on closed caption video.
At 4:29 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
This is all tight times. That's why we keep emphasizing.
yeah, now, it's believed, too, after they left the Sauce restaurant, when Lindsay went home to change clothes.
Yes.
That is pretty much what everybody is thinking at this time. Now, this house, where it was located, the development was called D'Souza.
Yeah, D'Souza Place.
D'Souza-
Like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, D'Souza Place. And actually, it was named after a guy named Joe D'Souza.
Well,
And he was there during that time building a house. So it may play
Okay.
later on some stuff.
gotcha.
All right. And like Dale said, the street on which the house is located is 1702 D'Souza Place. And it, like I said, is a small cul-de-sac containing 4 houses.
Big houses.
Big. I mean, we're talking, I think this house was right at $900 and something thousand. So it's slightly under their budget.
It was listed at 964,000.
Yeah. So not quite $1 million, but close enough.
Yeah, with taxes probably over.
These people that Lindsay were supposed to meet, Dale, let's talk about them for a few minutes. She had them labeled in her phone as the Mexicans.
Right.
Because she couldn't figure out what the accent was. So that's, even when she get a call from them, that's what it would show up on her phone as the Mexicans.
Right. And I don't think she's being racist. I think it was just so she didn't know who she's talking about.
Exactly.
She didn't have a clue.
And she would get calls from her, and one time it was going to be both of them that were going to meet her at the house. And then a later call that her husband was ill and couldn't make it.
Right.
And I think that was the last call, or the way that she thought she was going to meet him was just that woman. But now, at about 5:29, there at D'Souza Place, the lockbox was accessed by Lindsay.
Right. So she got there right on time.
Jason had texted Lindsay, and he was going to meet her there because, about the concern of her meeting somebody she didn't know and, over this call.
Correct.
And I think they were going to exchange some papers, too, some kind of real estate papers that they needed to swap, or something was going on for another property, too. So that was going to take care of her being looked after by Jason and the papers being exchanged for something else.
Right.
But the text from Jason said, "I'll come meet you, and I'll be 10 to 15 minutes or so." And that's when Lindsay said to Jason, "Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Got to go. The Mexicans are here."
Right. So this is still at 5:30.
5:30, 5:29, 5:30. Now at 5:38 p.m., Jason sends a text to Lindsay, and it says, "Just a couple minutes away."
Okay.
And that text was never opened by Lindsay. And according to the detective, Sergeant Horsley, the last text Jason said was, "I'm just a couple minutes away." And like I said, that text was never opened. But Dateline says that Jason's final text was, "Are you okay?"
Correct. So got a little bit of.
Now, my thinking on this was he didn't think about the "Are you okay?" text as being his last text.
Right.
I don't know. I can't be. I text people on my phone. I cannot tell you what my last text was.
Right.
From people.
Yeah. Especially with shit like this going on.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Sorry about that.
But it sounds like the Sergeant Horsley and Dateline, they support the 5:38 p.m. text as being the final one, as being the "Are you okay?"
But he never got a response, nor either one was open if there were to.
No.
Correct. Yeah, and they said that when he first pulled up, he thought he saw somebody there's two different stories. Either somebody walked out the door and then turned around and immediately went back into the house, or they saw some silhouettes of some people inside the front door. So it's two different stories.
And according to Jason, that after all this was said and done, he thinks that the people that were there to meet Lindsay saw him and turned around and went back in.
which is kind of weird.
But Jason thought they were just then getting there and
right,
going
like
in
the
the
showing
door.
was just starting.
And the woman is described as being a shorter woman with a very colorful dress on.
Yeah, pretty unique.
Yeah,
dress.
and the guy was a taller guy with just a plain brown suit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, light brown.
Yeah. But like I said, the woman had on this really bright colored dress, and they even think that she had this on so the dress would be a focal point.
Draw attention, maybe.
And not her look.
Right.
Or, her facial features.
Yeah, and the witnesses saw them all in the driveway before they ever went in. So they said that they saw the man, the woman, and Lindsay. And these people just walked up. Now, from where, I don't know. Now,
this was a woman.
That really bugs me.
This was a woman walking her dog.
Okay. Now, these people walked up and then they shook hands, and then so she said that she thought that they've never met the way they acted, and then they went into the house.
Mm-hmm.
But where the hell did they walk up from? This bugs me.
Yeah, there was no car parked anywhere. They just happened to walk up.
Right, as far as we know.
Yeah, and this was a newly built home, so there was no furniture in it or anything. It was just a vacant house, big house. Now, police believe that sometime between 5:38 to 5:41 is when Lindsay was murdered. Now, Dale, at 5:41 p.m., Lindsay's BlackBerry made a phone call. I guess they're claiming that it was a pocket dial.
Right. This is so creepy because it reminds me of that case we just did.
Yeah. And they believe that this pocket dial was the result of the attack. She might have had a hand in her pocket and just hit the last number she called or something. Don't you think?
Yeah, or when she fell, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was me and I already know what happened, I'm sure she didn't have a clue what was going on. But if she was worried, she probably did have her hand in her pocket on her phone. If she had, well, I don't know if it was in her. I don't know. Speculating.
Yeah. But the attack happened in an upstairs bedroom, the master bedroom. And I guess they had looked at the whole downstairs, and this what's so creepy about it. Just them people going along with the show and trying to look at the house, and then they get her upstairs, and Lindsay has her back turned, getting ready to show them the master bathroom, and that's when she's attacked.
Right.
She was attacked stabbed at least 40 times with a knife.
Yeah.
And there was no gun involved or anything like that. They didn't find any kind of gun residue or anything. It was just all with a knife.
Right.
Because that would be something quiet, something you could get in there quick and get the job done.
40 times. And it's mostly chest and face.
Yeah. And everything I heard, too, she had just had breast implants.
So it sounds kind of personal, doesn't it?
Yeah, very personal.
It's just very strange. This case is really strange.
But see,
somebody knows something on this.
Jason and his
okay, they're outside the whole time. Right?
They're outside, parked down the street.
Right.
Yeah, just waiting, just because they didn't want to go in and be like, why are you disturbing our show? Why are you here? I guess they were just waiting to.
Yeah, you didn't want to be overbearing and ruin the sale for her, but he's there for support either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were just waiting for Lindsay to get done with their showing. Now, Jason and then Cohen Oatman, they were parked outside the property for about 10 minutes.
Right.
And then he decided to back out to another street down the side called Torquay Drive,
right,
and parked there. And he did not want, like you said, he didn't want to be nosy or anything like that.
Right. At first, he was just parked across the road of the house so he could look at it, and he thought maybe it was kind of, for lack of a better word, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So he moved to be more out of view.
Yep. And after 20 minutes, Jason had arrived and seen the couple, like we said, go back in the house, and Jason went to the front door.
So it was 10 minutes in front of the house, and then they moved. They waited about another 10 minutes, and then he still hadn't got an answer. Okay.
Yeah. Jason went to the front door and found it was locked. And when you show a house, everything I've read, you're not supposed to lock the door. So, but the door was locked, and he tried to open it, and there was some, like a front door has this molded glass or something he could see. You can't really get out details.
Right, just images.
Just
kind of
images.
Blurry looking.
But he did see Lindsay's shoes in the entrance hallway there.
Right.
He goes, I guess when you show a house, you take your shoes off. But they didn't see any sign of movement, and no one answered after knocking at the door several times. Now, at this point, Dale, he called 911 just to get a welfare check.
Right.
because
something's up.
He hadn't heard anything back, and 20 minutes had passed.
And the door's locked.
Yeah. Now, while Jason was on the line with 911, Cohen Oatman found a gap in the fence in the back garden and entered that way and saw that the back patio door was wide open. And he called out to Jason, who told the operator that they were going into the house. And Jason then hung up with 911. Now, Cohen Oatman came through the main level to the home to the unlocked door to let Jason in.
Right.
He'd actually walked through the house and let Jason in. And this is one thing that surprises me that I hadn't figured out yet, that Jason, when he got into the door, he immediately ran upstairs.
Right.
Instead of checking the house, he goes straight upstairs. That blows my mind. How did he know to go upstairs?
Right.
And that's when he found Lindsay's body lying in a pool of blood in the master bedroom.
Maybe Cohen was going to do the bottom and he was going to run upstairs.
Could have.
Or, maybe he knew that since her shoes was there, maybe they go upstairs first. I don't know. Could have been some stuff, not necessarily he knew, but it is kind of strange to me as well.
And it makes you wonder if they saw bloody footprints. I've never heard that.
No. But something, 40 times, it ain't going to be clean.
No, there's going to be blood everywhere.
40 times in just a few minutes, so it wasn't like taking the time.
And Jason called 911 for a second time, and emergency services arrived just a few minutes later.
Yeah, I'm sure they were already on their way from the first call.
Oh, yeah. Now, Lindsay was pronounced dead when the paramedics arrived. She had been stabbed multiple times, and there were no defense wounds, indicating that she'd probably been stabbed from behind and had no inkling about what was going to happen.
Yeah, probably cut her throat and then went to stabbing.
None of Lindsay's possessions had been stolen.
Yeah, no robbery.
And she had not been sexually assaulted. So this was definitely premeditated. Something was up with this. Now, Jason and Cohen, they were handcuffed and taken into custody. That's what was weird, too, about this.
Yeah, well, it said they were both in the house and they were waving from upstairs bedroom when the cops pulled up and they came in and went ahead and took them in, but when they're all there, and he was trying to do CPR on Lindsay too, so I'm sure he was blood covered, so it probably didn't look good either way.
No, it probably didn't.
But they got to do what you got to do,
Yeah.
It's probably procedure, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Makes me wonder too, him being taken in cuffs. If he hadn't put cuffs on and just so let's just go downtown and talk about this, get you cleaned up, would he have lawyered up without the cuffs?
I don't know.
But him being put in cuffs, I'd lawyer up anyway, but he lawyered up. So it makes you wonder if he hadn't been put in cuffs, how quickly he would have lawyered up.
Right.
And just let him
ask what they had to ask.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on.
So that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
According to the Saanich Police Department, Jason had been interviewed several times, over the years, and has always cooperated with the police and also passed a polygraph.
Yeah.
He has always refused to provide a DNA sample.
Yeah.
According to his lawyer, he's never given that up.
But they said they didn't find anything anyway, so I don't see why it's
and there was no DNA at the house.
No.
None. It was just or fingerprints or any physical evidence at the scene.
No, they didn't find nothing. Well, they found a few fingerprints, but it was theirs.
Yeah.
And it was everything they found fit with the story that they told them about coming in the house and whatever. And the only thing that's changed is that story where they saw the silhouettes inside the house. And they said that was the first statement that they gave today. They saw some silhouettes moving inside the door. And then 9 years later, the story changed to where they saw the man and woman come outside and see them and then immediately go back in. So nobody knows why that story changed, but it was like 9 years later that he changed it from silhouettes to actually seeing the people.
Yeah.
And that might not mean nothing, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is believed that the murder was well organized and even a professional hit.
Right. And they even brought dogs in, but they couldn't find nothing, get no scent traces or nothing of any of the people going. And where the hell did they go? This bugs me really bad. I mean,
because this was a neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, you can look it up on Google Earth. That's what I did. And it's pretty tight. And I don't know, this has been several years back, so it might be more crowded now than it was then. But it's totally surrounded by houses. If they went out the back door, they're right into somebody else's backyard.
Yeah.
So where the heck did they go?
I know.
In 3-5 minutes.
And the police, when they got there, they shut down that neighborhood and they checked all the houses around for anything.
It's crazy.
Nothing was found. Nothing. Now let's talk about the phone call that Lindsay received from these so-called Mexicans.
Right.
Now, the cell phone that was used, they traced the number.
Yep.
And they found out this phone was a burner phone.
Right.
And the phone was purchased in Vancouver several months before the murder.
Yeah, it was in November of 2007 when it was bought.
Well, it was activated under the name of Paulo Rodriguez. The cops even believe that's a fake name.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And it was registered to a legitimate address in Vancouver, which turned out to be a business, and it's believed that the business had no connection to this Pablo Rodriguez at all.
It just happened to be on the address they wrote down.
Yeah, they just made up something.
And it was somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this phone was deactivated soon after the murder.
Yep.
And this phone was not used for any other purpose than to contact Lindsay, and that was it, Dale.
Right, yeah, it was only activated 24 hours prior to them first calling her, and then they followed it on when they followed the pings that it did actually come over on the ferry like the people said they were coming, but then right after that it was disconnected and never been used since.
So that tells you right there, this was a planned murder.
Very. It wasn't just happened.
And planned out for a while to be able to have that burner phone and set that up.
Either that or they had just had burner phones on hold. You can just buy them every now and again when you need one, I guess. But yeah, they had one for a month or two before it's ever come across.
Yeah, and that supports the theory that the murder was planned, totally planned.
So, yeah. And it was kind of weird why the police didn't give out the details and description of that dress or that composite for almost a year.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird why they held details back like that.
Well, they thought that dress, them being, people looking for $1 million home.
Right.
They thought that dress that woman was wearing could have been a designer dress.
But it wasn't.
No, it was just
JCPenney.
something you buy off the rack.
Yeah, but it was really wild. It was like white, pink, and black, real wild stripe.
Wavy stripes and stuff. And we've got a picture of the dress that we're going to post to so that everybody can get a look at it.
Right.
But, you're looking at it, your eyes will be focused toward the dress and not
on the dude, or he just had on a light brown jacket.
It's very, very flaunting dress.
Right.
So it'd be something that'd be more noticed than somebody's facial features, I think.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because that composite ain't very much, is it?
No.
Just a little side view.
Yeah. Jason Zalo's family, they were investigated with their connections with the cul-de-sac. D'Souza Court, like we said, is named after the developer, Joe D'Souza, and he is a friend and business advocate of Shirley Zalo, which is Jason's mother. And part of the cul-de-sac was still under construction at the time of the murder, and D'Souza himself was at the location, like we said, an hour before the murder, supervising construction of some work.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of fishy too. But the police have stated that no one in the Zalo family is a suspect. All right, Dale. Detective Horsley and McCall revealed that in December 2007, this was about 8 weeks prior to her murder, Lindsay tried to contact a friend of her ex-boyfriend while on a visit to Calgary. Now, on January the 22nd, 2008, the largest drug bust in Alberta's history took place, and the friend was arrested as being a major participant in this illegal drug trafficking operation.
Right. Yes, that she had reached out once by phone and another time through Facebook.
And it is believed that Lindsay's murder may have been ordered by a drug cartel because she was believed to be a police informant.
So they're thinking just because she reached out to an old school friend and then they got busted, that maybe she had something to do with it.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking.
Right. And it was a big bust.
Yeah, and the detectives investigated the possibility, but they quickly ruled it out as a motive because she was not an informant and it was just a personal nature of her murder and is not fitted a hired killer's method of operation. But now she did say, Lindsay did tell her father, prior to her, about a month prior to her murder, that she had witnessed something, and she'd tell him later about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was this drug operation going on or what. Now, speculation regarding another drug bust related to this group was also investigated as a link to Lindsay's murder, and a guy named Jaismahan Singh Bains' phone had been tapped because of a high-level involvement in the trafficking of sale of illegal or narcotics in British Columbia and Alberta. And during the wiretaps, law enforcement uncovered information that led to the British Columbia's legislature raids in 2003. And Lindsay and her boyfriend's phone were at the time also tapped because of the association with this guy named Jason Mahan. And although this theory is interesting, it is quickly dismissed because Lindsay was never known to be involved in drugs or trafficking and was not on the witness list, for anything like that.
Right.
But now, Lindsay did tell her father one time that when she went to see him that she was thinking about breaking up with Jason.
Yes.
Yeah, their relationship had turned a little sour, I think. And
he was kind of controlling, I think, like his mom.
And she had even discovered that he was selling steroids, dealing steroids. So, because Jason was a hockey player.
Right.
I don't think he was a professional hockey player. I think he was like
rec or something.
Yeah, semi-pro or amateur, something like that.
Right. Just a rec league or something.
Yeah, but he was a big dude. And this was later in 2008. A close friend of Lindsay's, a girl named Nikki, claimed that she woke up in the middle of the night from a call from an unknown number.
Right.
And she was about half asleep. And she didn't register with her at the time, but it was a female caller saying, but she noticed that the caller had a strange accent that she couldn't place.
She couldn't understand it either.
Yeah. And she became scared when she remembered that Lindsay reported her unidentified client as a possible murderer and about the odd accent, and she couldn't put her finger on it. And when she thought, it was fake, now when she woke up, she called the number back, but no one picked up. And she called repeatedly 20 to 30 times until someone answered, and the person on the other end of the line was Shirley Zalo.
Yeah.
Jason's mom. Yeah.
Ooh.
And Nikki asked Shirley why she had called her. And as if...
with this fake accent.
Yeah, they didn't know her. Yeah. And Shirley replied that she meant to call another Nikki, her secretary.
Right.
And it's just weird, man.
Well, this same Nikki is one that one night... her and Lindsay had went out on like a girls' night out, and they had came back to her and Jason's condo, and Jason was asleep, and she was in there kind of telling her stuff about how she wanted to leave and she was wanting to move out, and she was just waiting till she got the right time or whatever, and then come to find out he wasn't asleep, and he heard the whole thing and just flipped out and said Nikki was so scared that she just run out of the house, and Lindsay had to drive down the road and try to pick her up and stuff. So this is the same girl that this happened, and then a little bit of time later, his mom's calling her with a weird accent.
This is the creepiest thing of the whole thing. That makes me think that
his family's
the Zalo family is somehow involved.
Right.
They had a lot of money. I mean, they were very well off.
Yes.
Even the home that Lindsay and Jason lived in, Dale, it was a vacation home on a lake, and she just let them live there, and it was a $1 million home.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lived there for a while, and then that's when that was the first time she tried to leave him, and they split up because she's like she didn't want to deal with it, and then he begged her back, and then they moved back to where she was from, so she'd be back around her friends and stuff, and then they got a condo together.
Yeah.
So
it's very, very fishy about the Zalo family. To me, it is.
This whole damn thing is.
Yeah, but that phone call called Nikki. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, she's like, how did you even get my number, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe I got it from Jason. Well, Jason didn't have my number, so how the hell did this lady get her number and then call her with the fake
I think
accent?
that was, something else was going on too. Yep.
So this whole story is wild.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dale, you got any more theories?
Man, I don't know. It really bugs me to where the hell did they go? It's such a close timeline. At the max, it's 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
In a tight neighborhood, nobody saw them drive up. They walked up, and they said they met in the driveway. Well, if you look up that picture, that driveway is maybe a car length. It's not like it's a real long driveway, that they were far away from the road. And then I don't know. It bugs me to where the hell did they go? And then is it like did he sit there in the driveway for 20 minutes to make sure they had time? Because once he saw them, did he? I don't know. Because then that puts him involved. But that's just the way I think. Or is he sitting out there giving them time to get out? Mm-hmm. And like to think, well, here we are. I'm already running late for you. I don't know. I don't know the guy, whatever, but it just seems awful damn fishy to me.
Now, getting back to what I said at the beginning of this episode about did Lindsay find this property or did this couple find this property?
Right.
Because this was so well organized with the burner phone and all that, Dale.
And the escape.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if this couple didn't stake out this house for a while and see the comings and goings of all the workers in this neighborhood. Because this is a new neighborhood. Even the owner of this cul-de-sac, this property, was there that day.
You think him and Shirley's in on it?
I don't know, but I think they knew this house. They planned an escape route. You know, you're just not going to go in somewhere unfamiliar, stab somebody 40 times, and
disappear.
Expect to walk out the front door. You're gonna have a plan,
right.
And you're gonna have several plans. If this goes wrong, what's gonna happen?
Right.
You're gonna have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. With this level of sophistication, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. It makes me think everybody's in on it.
Yeah. So that's why I think the owner of this property and the Zalo family are in on something.
There's a lot of money there.
Yeah, a lot of money. But why Lindsay? Why? Unless she saw him do something, dealing with something she shouldn't have.
Which is possible.
Yeah.
Now, they all been cleared, right? But still the way I think.
And I know I've listened to interviews with Lindsay's dad, Jeff, and man, he's
a damn trooper.
He is. He lives,
much
breathes.
Respect for him.
Yeah, lives, breathes, and eats this case about his daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in his forefront 24 hours a day. And this case was actually labeled as cold at one time. And he contacted the authorities and said, look, if this case is cold, since it's cold, turn everything over to me.
Yep.
Let me have all the records on it. Well, they activated the case.
Yep.
Wouldn't let him have anything.
See, there's shit going on, man.
Yeah.
And especially if you listen to him, he'll tell you right quick that the cops they're not doing what they should be doing, and he's letting them know it daily.
And his life has been threatened several times over this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He don't care.
He said it. I mean, I've been threatened. I've had phone calls, people threatening my life.
And he don't care.
No, he don't care.
He just wants justice.
Exactly. And I can't imagine. I would want justice too.
Yes, be the same way.
Yep. But now, Dale, there is currently a $500,000 reward in this case. And if anyone has any information, please contact the Saanich Police at 250-475-4313, or you can call any Crime Stoppers and give them a tip and let them know something. But somebody knows something out there.
You darn right.
Yep. All right, Dale. We're going to wind this case up. We're going to get out of here. We want everyone to be safe. Wash your hands. Be careful. And
social distance, people.
And always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is
the Crack House Chronicles.